Hey guys, today I'm doing a review on I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, and this book was absolutely fantastic. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and it's definitely going in my top books that I read in 2015. Now, I'll give you a summary because I will talk about spoilers because this book was too amazing. And so, if you don't know what I'll Give You the Sun is about, which you might already know because this book has been out for about a year or so, I'll Give You the Sun is a young adult contemporary novel by Jandy Nelson. She has also written The Sky is Everywhere, and I might talk about that book a little bit later in the video, but she has written those two books. It is about two twins, Noah and Jude, and they are extremely close at age 13. Noah is falling in love with a boy who moved in next door, and Jude is just doing crazy things and wearing red lipstick. And 3 years later, when they're 16, they have completely been isolated from each other and are no longer talking to each other. Something happened between the twins, and they are no longer as close as they used to be, and just things aren't the same anymore. During that time, we get an aspect into Noah's life and Jude's life when they are at that age, and the story alternates between Noah at age 13 and Jude at age 16, and so this story actually comes into one. You'll slowly start to see it, and you'll see how things they connect, and you'll see that they come and make one story. This book was absolutely fantastic. If you have any doubts about it, I honestly suggest that you just read it now, because I have not heard anybody who didn't like this book, and I personally didn't like The Sky is Everywhere so much. I thought it was good, but I didn't love it. So when I read I'll Give You the Sun, I was completely blown away by Jandy Nelson's writing. It is fantastic, and it's like so magical, and you're so submerged into her writing because she writes a lot of metaphors, and her writing is so beautiful. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't remember her ever writing like that before, or maybe I never really paid attention. I don't know what it is, but it completely blew my mind. Like, the first 50 pages or so, I was like, I'm going to love this book, because the way she writes it is so different and amazing. You just might get these feelings, and it's absolutely great. There's a reason why she won 2 medals for this book, so, and I don't know if she's won more, but it's absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't read I'll Give You the Sun, you should definitely give it a try, because it is so worth it, and you're gonna want to laugh, you're gonna want to cry, you're just gonna have all these feels, and they're so great. And this book is also about art, so if you like art as in paintings, sculptures, stuff like that, you're also going to love this book. It is absolutely fantastic. I can't stop saying it. But you really have to read this book if you haven't already, and I hope I motivated you enough to read it. You won't regret it, honestly. So that was my review. So that's just for the non-spoiler section, because I also want to talk about spoilers. And really, if you haven't read it, go and read it. Come back and watch this video if you'd like or not. Your choice, but I will now get on to the spoiler section. So, I was still completely blown away by Jandy Nelson, because I was kind of shocked when I heard that their mother had died, and I was pretty sad about that. I was kind of shocked. I was shocked that the mother had died, and that kind of drove them apart. And as I kept reading the book, I realized that they had their own secrets, and they just kept hiding things from each other so much. So just, they could have easily just, there's so many things that happen in this book, and it intertwines so perfectly. And Jandy Nelson, she must have had a lot of like thinking to do to intertwine this perfectly together, and it makes total sense. It's not like it doesn't make sense or the story doesn't sum up to what it is or whatever, but no, it's perfect. And honestly, the twins are so terrible to each other when they were angry at each other. Like when Noah put Jude's brush in the toilet water every single morning, that honestly made me laugh. I know it's terrible to laugh, but I thought that was hilarious. And also, it was pretty terrible when Noah and his mom forgot Jude at the art museum. That was pretty bad as well, but I'm not supposed to laugh at those moments, I guess, but they were funny to me, and this book was perfect. And I also felt very sad at other moments, and when I figured out that Noah and Jude's mom was cheating on their dad, I had a feeling it might have been that, like, typical YA, that the mother or father is cheating on their spouse. First thought of that when the mother was following Noah, or when she was already there where Noah was. But once they said some other explanation, I quickly put it aside and I was like, no, that's not it. And then we realized that it was it, and I was like, oh, okay, wow. And yeah, so Noah actually hid this secret from Jude, and I don't know if I could ever do that. I probably wouldn't do that either. And it's so terrible how Jude didn't turn in Noah's application for CSA. I honestly would have been so mad. I wouldn't have kept calm at all. I probably would have been mad for quite a while. But like Noah, it didn't matter so much to him anymore. And he's a great artist either way, so he didn't really need the approval of the school or need to go into some art school to see how good of an artist he is. So that's a good thing that he realized that. I also love the art aspect in this book because there's many mentions to paintings and just a lot of illusions, and I really enjoyed that as well. Jandy Nelson writes with so much passion in her writing. I was completely blown away by her writing. It's really, really good. You're just really submerged into it, and that's what I really wanted. It took me about 2 weeks to read this book, but at the last week, I was about like halfway, a little bit more than halfway. I had to finish it. There was no questioning it. I was going to finish that book that day on Thursday of like 2 weeks ago, but there was no questioning it. I was going to finish it, and I did. And I was so happy, and I couldn't even. This book is really great. Also, Noah and Brian, I thought they were really cute together, and I love how Noah's thoughts are really interesting, and how Jandy Nelson writes them into words are really interesting as well. How it's really hard to explain, but I loved reading Noah's story. I love reading both of them actually, but they were very entertaining to read because of the way she writes. Oscar and Guillermo, they were really awesome, and I was wondering what was wrong with Guillermo and why was he like so closed, and how he was so like open to actually being a teacher and mentor for Jude. I was kind of surprised because he obviously hadn't done that for quite a while. And all the moments with Oscar and Jude kind of broke my heart, especially when Jude was hiding in the closet while Oscar brought some girl home, I forgot her name, but that kind of broke my heart a lot. And I was like, Jandy Nelson, what are you doing to me? I'm very glad Oscar refused to be with Jude that very second and decided to wait, because I feel like it would have been very weird, and it's much better if he would wait. And I feel like that's the respectable thing to do and the right thing to do. I have a lot of feelings towards this book, and I know I keep jumping on and off about different things, which I'm sorry about, but too many things on my mind to think about from this book. As they come into my mind, I just say them out loud. And I think one of the very last things I'll mention is how Jude has these things that her grandma used to say, like these sayings, I think, or hogwash, that she would say, like, keep an onion in your pocket, or give a boy a lemon or an orange, something like that. All the little sayings after she would think about something or stuff like that. Or it's italicized under, like, little sayings. I love those. Those were very interesting to read, and I was wondering, like kind of like superstitious stuff, and I don't know, I thought it was really interesting. I probably would believe in that too. It was a very good and cool aspect in this book. I also enjoyed how Noah also has his own little thing. Noah has these portraits, or self-portrait, or paintings, or whatever. That was really cool too. The book is honestly great, and I could probably talk about it for ages, but that's all I have in my mind for right now. Unless I think about something else, I'll probably put in the comments. But yeah, this book is absolutely perfect, and it's so heartwarming and beautiful, and I definitely recommend it if you're still sketchy about it. I don't know why you would be, but it's perfect. That is my review for I'll Give You the Sun. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!